Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Saturday, the 1st of February 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com, the best casino and sports betting on chain. Have a little flutter in private using the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Right, let's see what we got today. So I've just found this article by Coin Trust saying Unleashing the Future, Teranode Scaling and BSV Blockchain. This was actually written on the 18th of March last year. But I've not seen this article before, so I'm just going to read through it and see what it says. We've got this video here that somebody pointed out to me. The BSV Godfather, actually, thanks for doing that. With Nick Spanos talking about Hamdan Azhar and his role in Bitcoin and BlackRock. Sounds very interesting. Nick Spanos, again, like founder of the Bitcoin Center in New York, has actually responded to this. So we'll just have a look at some of those articles there. Got some questions here from newbies, which I guess there's going to be more and more starting to come through, so I may as well try and address them now. I'm just going to discuss the VeriDAO conversation that we had the other day, because other people sounded a little bit disappointed with what I had to say, so I'm just going to explain myself and explain exactly what the Veri token is and what Reggie Middleton, what the mistake that he made, basically. Catching up on a little bit of news about the three plane crashes this week. We'll do some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then we'll go through the figures as per usual because they're getting juicy. Right, let's get into it.
Greg says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Teranode, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. Right, let's start with this. So Coin Trust was who published this article saying Unleashing the Future, Teranode Scaling and BSV Blockchain. So I've not heard of Coin Trust before. But it says here, subtitle, Calvinet unveils the future of BSV Blockchain. And this is by Kelly Cromley, 18th of March 2024. Calvinet, the visionary behind Air Group, a global conglomerate backing real estate ventures, businesses and technologies, has unveiled groundbreaking insights concerning the Teranode scaling solution within the BSV blockchain. This advancement is poised to revolutionize the perception of blockchain technology, aligning with Satoshi Nakamoto's vision for Bitcoin as a robust, scalable network capable of meeting global demands securely. The current narrative surrounding blockchain and cryptocurrency predominantly revolves around soaring fiat values of tokens like BTC, often mislabeled as a Bitcoin by mainstream media. I wonder if this article might have been written by somebody at CoinGeek. However, this narrative strays far from Satoshi Nakamoto's original vision for a scalable platform for peer-to-peer electronic cash, coupled with secure and immutable data storage capabilities for enterprise and governments. The promise of scalability, Satoshi's vision encompasses a network surpassing the transaction capacity of major financial systems like Visa and MasterCard. Despite early promises, the Bitcoin network, BTC, fell short, restricted to a mere 7 transactions per second, veering away from Satoshi's blueprint and adopting the digital gold narrative to compensate. Teranode redefining possibilities. The Teranode protocol upgrade within the BSV blockchain promises a paradigm shift. With the capacity to process over 1.1 million transactions per second, Teranode eclipses the combined capabilities of Visa and MasterCard while ensuring cost effectiveness. Indeed it does. Unveiling Teranode's components. Teranode comprises 3 key elements: distributed network of core nodes, specialized and isolated components, and microtransactions amalgamating information and value. This integration positions BSV as the foundational infrastructure for a multitude of specialized overlay networks on a global scale. A rigorous stress test, in collaboration with Aerospike, a leader in high-performance NoSQL databases, the BSV Association subjected Teranode to a rigorous 6-month stress test. The preemptive measure ensures readiness for a full node implementation by 2024. Oh, come on, you're behind schedule with 2025 already. Driving technological advancements, Teranode's impact extends beyond transaction processing. It offers a secure and cost-effective platform for enterprise and government agencies to manage sensitive data effectively. Furthermore, Teranode serves as a catalyst for innovation, facilitating the development of AI applications trained on verifiable and auditable data, thereby minimizing errors and enhancing trust in AI. empowering Web3. The unbounded capacity of BSV, augmented by Teranode, addresses the long-standing bottleneck hindering Web3 progress. With the capability to handle vast numbers of individual addresses, BSV opens doors for stalled Web3 projects to advance. Embracing regulation, BSV blockchain stands out for its compliance with existing laws and regulations. The introduction of enhanced network access rules by the BSV Association facilitates digital asset recovery, offering a legal avenue for victims of lost or stolen assets to reclaim their property. Call to action: as an advocate for emerging technologies, Calvin emphasizes the importance of exploring BSV and Teranode firsthand. Encouraging skepticism and independent investigation, invites stakeholders to witness the transformative potential of these innovations, heralding a return to Satoshi's revolutionary vision for Bitcoin. In essence, Teranode represents a pivotal step towards realizing Satoshi Nakamoto's original vision for Bitcoin, offering a scalable security, it's meant to be secure, and inclusivity for a truly decentralized digital economy. I quite enjoyed reading that article. That was a great one. Right, let's get on to this. So BSV Godfather pointed this out to me. So let's have a listen and break this down.
This guy Fink a couple days ago went and is convincing states to put part of their funds in Bitcoin, and I think they're using, Bitcoin as a Trojan horse, and they're gonna co-opt Bitcoin, and I'll tell you why. Hamdan Azhar, who is one of my co-founders at the Bitcoin Center, was a data scientist at BlackRock. So he knew the most about Bitcoin at BlackRock. He had meetings about Bitcoin. Then they say, we're going to go into Bitcoin. We're going to create a working group within BlackRock. Hamdan, for some other database that he built, was praised by the COO 2 weeks before. And 2 days before they formed and met for the first time officially about Bitcoin, they fire Hamdan. And by Friday, there's going to be a lawsuit out saying that, they want to co-opt Bitcoin. The Bitcoin he believes in is not the Bitcoin that they believe in. There's no other reason, because no one else knew more about Bitcoin in that building than Hamdan, and they knew it. But when they started thinking about what they were going to do with Bitcoin, maybe, then they had to get rid of him. So he's the whistleblower, and we got to support him and spread that news that everyone has to sell their ETFs and take self-custody of the Bitcoin, or else there'll be no Bitcoin.
That's a very good point there by Nick Spanos. So that's interesting, because he says the Bitcoin that he believes in is not the Bitcoin that they believe in. So we need to find out a little bit about
a couple days ago.
Hamdan Azhar. So we've got a little bio of him here. So it says he's the chief scientist of Zap Foundation. Hamdan is the chief scientist at Zap and one of the founding members of Bitcoin Center New York City. A former data scientist at Facebook, Hamdan is the founder of Prismo.ji, a data journalism laboratory whose work has been featured in outlets around the world, including Vice, Forbes, and the Huffington Post. He is also the recipient of the 2017 Knight Foundation Prototype Funder Grant, which recognizes the most promising early-stage innovations in media and technology. At Facebook, Hamdan designed experiments to measure the effectiveness of Facebook ads. Prior to that, he served as a national statistician on Ron Paul's 2012 presidential campaign. Hamdan earned his BS in economics from Penn State, his MS in biostatistics from the University of Michigan, and spent 1 year in the PhD program in neuroscience at the University of Chicago. Hamdan has delivered invited talks at conferences around the world, including at the Open Data Science Conference, Newsgeist, the Belarus Blockchain Conference, and I guess there are others there. I mean, it seems like highly decorated, really. So Nick Spanos has replied to this, and there was something interesting amongst all this. I'll see if I can find it on this page. Mr. Azhar's pioneering work on Bitcoin at BlackRock intersects directly with their broader corporate misconduct he uncovered. I think that was something to do with China. Throughout his tenure or something like that, the plaintiff's trend spotter, which uncovered trends of funding going to China for developing weapons. Insights revealed increased client interest in Bitcoin as a legitimate assets class, despite public. I can't. It's too small for me to read here. It's better. So, Mr. Azhar's pioneering work on Bitcoin at BlackRock intersected directly with the broader corporate misconduct he uncovered throughout his tenure. Plaintiff's trend spotter insights revealed increasing client interest in Bitcoin as a legitimate asset class, despite public statements from BlackRock executives downplaying this relevance. This created internal friction, while external BlackRock statements dismissed Bitcoin. Internal data told a very different story. Senior leadership included defendant Hammock, thought to suppress this growing internal interest in Bitcoin while publicly portraying BlackRock as a cautious and responsible actor in digital assets. Mr. Azhar's participation in high-level discussion on BlackRock's Bitcoin strategy, including his scheduled but later missed executive meeting with a MicroStrategy and Fidelity Digital Assets, represented a direct threat to BlackRock's carefully curated public stance on Bitcoin. Plaintiff's termination occurred just days before his planned transition to BlackRock AI Labs, where he was slated to work directly on Bitcoin strategy. This timing was not coincidental. It was part of a broader pattern of retaliation and suppression, ensuring the plaintiff's expertise and initial knowledge of Bitcoin client sentiment were removed from BlackRock before he could influence policy at a higher level. In October 2017, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. However, by November 2020, the tables had turned, and Rick Ryder, a BlackRock chief investment officer, telling CNBC, "I think digital currency and..." So on the next page. Receptivity, particularly millennials' receptivity of technology and cryptocurrency is real. Digital payment systems are real, so I think Bitcoin is here to stay. In February 2021, Ryder told CNBC that the BlackRock had started to dabble in Bitcoin. However, 9 months later, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink told CNBC, "We see a very little demand for those crypto type of things." In August 2022, just 3 months later, Mr. Azhar's termination, BlackRock launched a private trust to give clients exposure to spot Bitcoin in light of substantial interest from some institutional clients in how effective and cost-effective access these assets using our technology and product capabilities. In June 2023, BlackRock filed an application with the SEC to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF called the iShares Bitcoin Trust. The ETF was launched on January 2024 and by May 2024 had become the largest Bitcoin ETF in the world with $20 billion in assets. In July 2024, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink told CNBC, "I believe Bitcoin is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have uncorrelated returns." But anyway, it sounds to me like they're trying to from what Nick Spanos was saying there, they are literally trying to co-opt Bitcoin and turn it into a speculative piece of crap, which is why they're trying to get nation states and pension funds and insurance companies and all that to put their funds into it. I'm not going to say money, I'm going to say funds, but yeah, sounds proper dodgy. But I wonder what Hamdan Azhar had when he said he doesn't believe in the Bitcoin that the BlackRock want him to believe in. So if you actually watch the full interview there, it sounded like Hamdan Azhar had actually created a pro or sort of some kind of software trend spotter program that could run on Bitcoin that was massive, that would have spotted all sorts of trends. So sounds like some kind of shenanigan is going on there. Very interesting. Very interesting. Right, just getting to some questions here. So S718 said, I know you're a Maxi Satoshi, but have you any thoughts on Zano? Just going to cover this because, you know, there's going to be loads of newbies asking questions like that. This correlates to a question here saying, hi Satoshi, I'm trying to get some ideas about money and data clearing my mind. Can you tell us, perhaps in your next video, what you mean by data can only be commoditized one way? I've heard you say this a few times, but never quite got what you mean. Cheers. Right, so these are the elements that actually commoditize data, and money has to be a commodity because it's common value, but the word money comes from a monopoly commodity. So because a medium of exchange is a tool that enables, encourages and accelerates the facilitation of trade, over time these tools, these mediums of exchange, will outcompete one another until everybody settles on just simply using one medium of exchange that fulfills the trade in the best way. So what happens is when a commodity monopolizes a market due to its ability to be used as a medium of exchange, it becomes a monopoly commodity and recognized as money. That's what money is. It's a monopoly commodity. When a commodity is monopolized a market due to its ability to be used as a medium of exchange and is used as a medium of exchange. And data can only be commoditized one way, in a way where there is no central point of authority or control or failure. So the foundation of the network has to be economically competitive. So there are multiple operations economically sustaining the network that are in competition to one another. So if one of them goes offline, it has absolutely no effect on the network whatsoever. That is absolutely essential. Without competition, there is no way to distribute the coins fairly, because you can't compete for them, which means you're relying on somebody handing them to you. And if somebody's handing them to you, well, then it's a centrally controlled network. So you have to be able to compete to extract the coins from the network and distribute them. Secondly, you have to move responsibility and accountability away from those who are economically sustaining the network and processing transactions onto the users. Because if there is criminal activity taking place on the network and there's no other way to crack it down, well then those people who are or those operations facilitating it are going to be on the hook. So accountability and responsibility has to move away from those sustaining the network onto the users of the network. And this is done by creating a chain of digital signatures. So the users of the network can actually track through the chain of signatures who the living men and women are behind any particular transaction that might be involved in criminal activity or antisocial activity or child trafficking, gun running, drug dealing, whatever, on the network. So that the Bitcoin network effectively creates a private association of users, because only those people who are transacting with one another in Bitcoin know who each other are. And the chain of digital signatures links all of them together, meaning there is a way of chasing lawfully and contractually any transactions that are breaking the law that we don't want in our society. It's the only way it can be done with a chain of digital signatures. And this is why every attack on Bitcoin has been on the chain of digital signatures, because if you can break the chain of signatures, you're breaking that chain of command and you're breaking that chain of accountability, which means someone somewhere can do something on the network that nobody else would know about. And if they can do that, it means that that one person has an advantage of the network and they can do other things that they're not responsible for, because there's no signature attached to what they're doing, which means they then have control of the network. That's why, literally, so BTC, when they implemented SegWit, and BCH, when they implemented Schnorr signatures and the canonical transaction ordering, they've literally forever ruined, taken out the value of their chain. Literally, the chain of signatures is broken. Those broken protocols have no value whatsoever. Indefinitely. They can't ever be fixed. They can't ever go back. They're screwed. Absolutely screwed. The network must have unbounded scale so that limitations and restrictions can't be manufactured and the network not be manipulated. There must be a fixed asset supply so that no shenanigans can take place with some centralized party inflating or deflating it and enriching themselves. And then these 4 elements here have to be locked forever. They have to remain in place. An economically competitive foundation, a chain of digital signatures, unbounded scale, and a fixed asset supply. That they cannot change. This is the elusive protocol that everybody's been talking about. So I'm just going to relate that back to the VeriDAO. So what Reggie Middleton did is he's created patents which he was trying to sell via the sale of tokens. But this is the thing. He was trying to effectively sell licenses or uses for his patents, or maybe even memberships. Now that's fine because you can sell a membership individually. You can sell a license individually. However, if he is selling tokens to use his technology, and those tokens can then be speculated on, and he can create an infinite amount of them for himself, well then that is an illegal, unregistered security offering. Because he can make an unlimited amount of tokens. So let's say you've got tokens valued at $100 or $1,000 each, or $100,000, whatever. Reggie could just simply make as many more tokens as he wants for himself, because there's an infinite supply. That's not selling membership. Membership is a service. A security is meant to secure your entitlement to something, like a share dividend or something like that. But what he should have done is created and built those technologies, those patented technologies, on the BSV network, because BSV is the only commoditized network, and he should have sold membership or sold licenses for those patents in exchange for BSV. That's what he should have done, and that's how he could have done it. But because he tried to enrich himself by making an unlimited supply of tokens and selling those tokens, representing sort of like saying, oh, you can use these license fees if you pay these tokens. That's why they literally came down on him like a ton of bricks. He should have built it on a common network, because any network that's centrally controlled, they can take control of, and he should have sold licenses or memberships for BSV. That's what I mean. So. That very DAO and those very tokens are never going to gain any value whatsoever. And unfortunately, those guys that have bought the tokens or who are trying to help Reggie Middleton out, they're never going to get anywhere because of what I've just explained. So I hope I've made that clear. Right, let's just get into some general news, like what's going on. 3 plane crashes this week. What is going on? Let's have a listen. It's not looking good, is it? Yeah, that to me looks like the deep state tying up loose ends of something. Yeah, it looks dodgy as hell is what that looks like. Right, let's get on to 365 days of Bitcoin history. On the 31st of January 2019, an affidavit filed by a Quadriga CX on January 31st reveals that there are 26,500 BTC, that was 92 million at the time, 1,100 BCH, representing $1.3 million, 11,000 BSV, 35,000 digital Bitcoin Gold, 200,000 Litecoin, and 430,000 Ether, stored on Gerald Cotton's encrypted and inaccessible laptop. However, they say it's an inaccessible laptop and wallets, but the coin started moving after he was meant to have died. Dodgy as hell there. Jan 31st, 2024, Meta quits Copa Coalition ahead of the Satoshi trial showdown. I remember this. Let's see if this page is still active. There we go. Meta quits Copa Coalition ahead of Satoshi trial. They didn't want anything to do with it. when the evidence started coming out. But little did we know how corrupt the court was going to be. Jeepers. On the 1st of February 1933, Hitler's radio broadcast was remastered. I mean, this was sensational stuff. It was the inspirational talks that Hitler was giving to his party. And again, it's the victors that always write history. And I think we've been hoodwinked about what it was all about. On the 1st of February 2018, the World Crypto Network went live from Quebec Bitcoin mining meetup. They're saying there was a gold rush. 1st of February 2022, the 5th largest Bitcoin wallet holding 94,000 BTC is believed to be under the control of the US government. The seizure address is directly linked to the 2016 Bitfinex hack on February 1st, 2022, where there was 567.5 BTC valued at 21.88 million, a lot more than that now. The seizure address, On the 1st of February 2023, the Taproot Wizard mined the first 4 megabyte block and changed BTC forever. Well, again, I mean, they've screwed it up big time. Taproot Wizards, oh my god. There we go. That's a little bit. 365 days of Bitcoin history, right? Let's have a quick look at the figures because that's 28 minutes gone already. So we've got Bitcoin at just $48. Yeah, matches the top left of the screen there. We'll have a look at the difficulty adjustment on BTC. It's just dropped off a little bit, but it's still massively all-time highs. All right, good grief. Let's have a look at hash rate on Bitcoin. Yeah, still plodding along there nicely. Let's have a look at transactions. Dropped off a cliff here, just 44,000 transactions. According to BitInfo charts, 44,956, confirmed by what's on chain. Transaction banking is what I suspect is going on there. Block sizes, we'll have a quick look at what's coming through here. Oh, actually the block's pretty good here. 96, 218. 123, 406, these are megabyte blocks, 232, 114, 105, 264, 173, 227, these are all megabyte blocks. Bearing in mind that Gregcoin, the biggest block they've got is 2 point something or other. And yet we've got one block here that's got 264 megabytes, that's the biggest block. Good grief. Currently 61,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin, mining Bitcoin at a 31% comparable loss. So this just shows you that profitability is being very carefully managed still. So until this management goes away, we're not going to see too much movement in anything. Well, maybe transaction volume. That'd be quite exciting when Teranode comes on. But yeah, transactions just picking up a little bit, as we've seen from the block sizes there. Let's have a look at the politics here in the pie charts, because that's where it is. Yeah, look, transactions picking up. Global hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 24 hours. Gregcoin hash rate, Foundry USA pool 35.4 and pool 22. Good grief. So that's they've got two miners here with 57%. 57% of the hash rate. Other miners 2.08 on there. F2 pool down at 13.19. B crash hash rate. So other miners with 52% on there. Fisher Price cash, who cares? Bitcoin will have to cross-reference this with what's on chain. So with that SA100 miner is on there. So Tal, Kuv, QD Link, Gorilla Pool, SA100 and Mining Dutch. Looking very healthy there, I must say. All right, Crypto Quant, the exchanges. Look, the exchanges reserve. Look, they're just they're getting rid of their reserves. They're not holding the reserves. They're cashing out effectively, because they know what's coming. They know what's coming. Let's have a look at Tether weather. Not really too much gone on the week. Quite a bit on the month, 137.1 to 139.3. So it's $2.2 billion went in the month, but that's nothing. We're used to seeing billions going in each day. It's crazy. Short ratio 0.4%. Interesting. Right, let's have a look at these trading statistics. So Binance futures have got a 24-hour trade volume of 3.2 million. That's going down. MEXC just $233,000. Index $86 million though. $86 million on Index. Up bit down to 1.9. Polonix around 10 million. But yeah, I mean Index 86 million. It's massive. HTX 3.3 million. Buybox 2.1 million. What was that? Zendix and 0 trade volume. What? Alright, yeah. Right, let's have a look at Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. So it was trending up, now it's trending down again. Interesting. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus USD. Yeah, just trending down. We'll just cross-reference that with Orange Gateway. Yeah, ups and down. Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. Oh, that's right, yeah. So price went up comparatively, then came down, so they would have been pumping it. We've got an overall market cap of $3.5 trillion. Gregcoin trade volume just 1.6, representing $32 billion. The 140 billion would like absolutely crush that. What happened there? Well, price went down, dropped off a cliff a little bit, and then continued. Let's see what's going on with this XRP shite business. Trending sideways, not really going anywhere. Depends if the Capal decide to pump this. $2.9. So it's up 22% in the last 30 days. I think it's like a 6x return in the last sort of last 3 months. So we went from 50 cents up to $3. 6x, 600% increase, but they're just pumping it. There's no utility there whatsoever, and we know it, a completely centralized network. The Cabal just using it as a distraction. Let's have a look. Bitcoin $48.20. Right, let's have a look at volume. So they're saying Zendixon. So how can Zendixon have like 30% of the trade volume when the metrics we just looked at showed that it had none? Something isn't right. Liquidity, see where that is. Changely Pro hit BTC. XGO Exchange, OKX, Pinex, Zendixon. All right. Right, there we go. That's a 35-minute show. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. As ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donation for your appreciation to either Satoshi at Sembi.com, Handcash.io, Simply.cash, Relasia.com, RockWallet.me, or Senti.ch. These are all wallets that you can use, by the way. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.